Join the chat. Let's start the show.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. Welcome to another episode of the Happy Hour Show with your host, Lindsey Vertner. That is me, okay? If you are tuning in live right now, as in right this second, then listen, I need you to do a little things in the comments, okay? Comment all the way live. Hey. And if you are tuning in later on, anytime after 10 p.m. Eastern, that means you're catching the replay, whether you're listening or watching. And I need you to comment replay all day. But either way, make sure you comment, love, and share this video out, all right? Because you know the Happy Hour Show is all about your personal development. We help you grow spiritually, personally, professionally, financially, all the leads that you can grow. We help you to do that on the Happy Hour Show. It's our personal development show for you. So remember, make sure you comment, love, share this video out, and engage with us, because this isn't just a conversation between myself and our lovely guest, who I'm going to introduce in just uno momento, but it's also a conversation with you at home that is watching or listening. So make sure you converse with us in the comments down below. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and hopefully you have grabbed your drink and you're ready to join the chat. Meanwhile, if you have no clue who I am, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hope. Oh, just kidding. No. I'm Lindsey Vertner. I am an award-winning peak potential strategist and transformational speaker, and mindset is my jam, okay? I help high-achieving women. That means you're ready for more in your life. You're ready to build your living legacy and walk in your God-given purpose, okay? High-achieving women. I help you to master your mindset and truly increase your clarity, your confidence, your connections, and ultimately your cash flow, okay? We do that in a couple different ways, but if you want to find out, hit up my website, livefirstclasslife.com, and you can find out all the ways how. Meanwhile, if you want to stay updated on all things Happy Hour Show, then make sure you sign up for the VIP list at bit.ly/happy updates. For my audio listeners, that's bit.ly/happy updates with an S on the end. Meanwhile, let me go ahead and jump right in and introduce tonight's guest, because I love her. I know you'll love her. And I have actually met her in real life, okay? So tonight's guest is Miss LaKisha Mosley, and she is the event producer and digital event strategist of the LM Experience, an event planning and management firm that now offers your products and brands exposure and growth through their exclusively created virtual experience. LaKisha creates stunning, refreshing, and fun virtual experiences that specialize in engaging your audience and making your brand event not only a success, but memorable for years to come, creating an avenue of wonderful revenue returns. And we like monies, okay? We like monies. Without further ado, welcome to the Happy Hour Show, Miss LaKisha Mosley.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Lindsey.
Hey. So happy to have you on the show tonight. I know when I met you in Atlanta a couple years ago, we just clicked and I was like, I like her. I like
Yes, I like you and love you as well.
Yes. So I know I just kind of briefly explained what you do, which we'll get into in a little bit. But for now, I want you to tell the viewers and listeners, like, who is LaKisha? Where'd you come from? Like, spill the good tea about LaKisha Mosley, okay?
Oh my gosh. So, firstborn, brown girl from Louisiana, honey, small town called Alexandria. Had a really like cool childhood. So I am the oldest. I'm the only girl. I do have two younger brothers. One is 5 years younger than me, and one is 27 years younger than me. Okay.
I can relate.
So went to school in Louisiana, got my degrees in Louisiana as well. Went to Northwestern State University. I have a degree in criminal justice. And also, yes, that I don't use. And I also have a degree in HR. I am a mom of two grown but children. Okay, 25 and 22. And I will soon be a grandma this month.
Oh,
So,
congratulations.
yes, girl, yes. I am divorced, but my ex-husband and I are really, really good friends. Really, really cool. Not beyond co-parenting, but just as friends. And so I just love hanging out with my girlfriends, virtually. Because I'm not going outside. It's something outside that ain't safe.
I love it. So many nuggets, like even in just those few sentences that you said, like there are so many aspects that I didn't know about you yet.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get into it.
Yes.
So one thing that I definitely want to explore is that you have a degree in criminal justice.
Yes.
What made you want to have that?
You know what was funny was, so I'm finna tell my whole age, okay? So I graduated high school. I graduated high school in 94. And what we didn't see in my small town was a lot of Black police officers or lawyers or any of that. So I never saw that. And I wanted to work in law enforcement some kind of way. And so I said, I'm going to go to school for criminal justice. And of course, most of the time, the only female in the class, people looking at you like all crazy. And I want to say, like, one of my teachers, she really, really was impressive. She was a really spunky white lady girl, but she didn't take no mess. And I was like, I want to be just like her. I'm going to pursue this thing full force. And I actually loved it for a little bit after I graduated. But then, I don't know, I have this kind of caring, nurturing spirit. And that field, that's not what you do, honey. You're not doing it there. And, you have to think about, too, what the crime looks like and the demographics. So I grew up poor in the hood. So most of the people who I worked around or who I had to target were people I grew up with. People who I knew. Maybe it was their brother, sister, family, cousin. I knew them. So it was really uncomfortable for me. And I was just like, nah, this ain't for the kid. Yeah, nah, this ain't for the kid.
Listen, so I love that you noticed the need and then you decide to make a change for the need. And then you were like, all right, this ain't the need that I personally want to fix like I thought I did. And you pivoted. So there's so many layers to that already. And I hope the viewers of the Happy Hour show are really picking up on what those are. And if they're not, it's okay because we're going to dissect a few of those.
Right.
So one of them that I want to get into is just having that shift of being poor and in the hood to where you are today. So we're going to come back to that one. I put myself a note so I don't forget. But pivoting, because I know last year with COVID and even still now, so many different things have changed how we live and how we
Right.
engage and how we interact in our lives
Right.
due to the coronavirus. And
Exactly.
some people thrived and some people absolutely felt
Yeah.
suffocated and
Yes.
instantly survival mode. And so for you, you already have experience in, taking that direction and
Right.
saying, this is not what I want. This is not going to work. Let me pivot and do something
Right.
different. So I want you to tell about that journey, because I know there are a lot of people out there that even before COVID, though,
Mm-hmm.
were too scared to change and do something different because they feel like I've invested so much time, so much
Yes.
money, so much energy, yada, yada, yada. Like I have to make this work even though it's not working. So tell us
Right.
about your journey to make that change from what you thought you wanted to do to something different.
Let me preface that first by saying I'm a personality, so change is not something that your girl likes. Like, first and foremost, you like change. No, ma'am, I will not. It will be my way or not to be any way at all. But there was nothing I could do to control COVID, Corona, whatever we want to call it. At that time, I was working in grocery retail. I was a grocery retail store manager. And so we were frontline. But then I had this business that had 5 events on the books in 5 major cities. We're talking Miami, we're talking DC, we're talking New York, we're talking Atlanta, we're talking LA. So now I have, from those 5 events, it was 3 clients because I was doing multiple events for one, who were like, okay, homegirl, what's up? Like, what we gonna do? Because they about to shut us down. New York was shut down. LA was shut down. I mean, they were on the onset of shutting down. Like, and I'm sitting here like, okay, what in the world? What am I going to do? So I had a team meeting, and one of my team members said, we're gonna have to pivot. I was like, what? What you mean we're gonna have to pivot and do what? And she was like, you're gonna have to go deep. You're gonna have to think about what it is that we can do to salvage these events, or just to take the business to another level. And I said, okay, God, I don't know what you're doing, but listen, your girl needs your help. Like, I really need to figure out what I'm going to do. And so I started looking at, some people started talking virtual. And I was like, well, I had kind of done that already. Virtual isn't new. It's just it wasn't popular. And so I said, okay, I could probably do this. And so, of course, we go to our trusty Zoom. And I'm like, I hate Zoom. I absolutely hate Zoom. Like, I don't even like to meet on Zoom. That's how bad I hate Zoom. And so, honestly, Lindsey, we just took it from there. We just started adding layers to it. I discovered StreamYard, and I was like, damn, I can make this like an amazing thing. And then I found something called Passage that I can stream from StreamYard to Passage and have branded events. And my clients can collect donations in this platform. And I began to build these relationships with all of these different platforms to where now partner with a major one to create branded events. Now I'm able to add engagement pieces into it. So pivoting, let me tell you, when I say I had to pray, ooh, baby, I had to pray about it. But I will say that although COVID is horrible and people lost family, I mean, I've lost some people too. It was the best thing that could have happened to me. I don't think I would have ever stepped out of that bubble. I was content in my job. I was happy. I was fine with them $80,000 a year. I was fine with that little 5 figures, maybe 6 figure bonus, depending on how well the store did. I was okay with that. Life was good. Life was good, but God had something better and bigger for me. And so I began to get unrest. I began to get like, these folks getting on my nerves about this hand sanitizer and this water and this soap. Like, what was you doing before that? You getting on my nerves. Like, I can't do it. And I began to get unsettled. I had to
That's the whole message right there, because God will do that. He will do that when he's trying to push you in a direction to give you more. He will make you very uncomfortable and resentful and not like where you currently are. And it's up to us to recognize when he's giving us that push and being willing to push past the fear, especially that fear of the unknown, and to take that direction that he's trying to lead us to. But what happens with so many people, and I'm a coach and I used to be a therapist, so I see it all the time. So I don't want y'all listeners at home to be like, not me. It probably is you.
Probably is you.
But what happens is so often, rather than taking the jump, we stay complacent. We stay comfortable in our chaos. We keep
Yes.
putting up with the dead end relationship that's toxic as hell, or we keep putting up with the job that is like making us pull out our brains. We go to sleep stressed, we wake up stressed, we clock in just to be like, how long until we clock out? We keep putting up with debt, living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, instead of making the leap that he's asking us to make and doing something different and getting out of our comfort zone to change our circumstances.
Right. Yes. I'm just like, God, I don't know what it was, Lindsey, but I just began to get, like I said, I was very unsettled. I was easily irritated. And I was like, you know what? So you have orange, something gonna have to shake, because I'm not happy here. And to be honest, I was in an area where they didn't take too kindly to my kind. And so I was dealing with that every day too. Oh, well, the black girl won't let us get, hand sanitizer. And if everybody was out, like literally companies ran out of stuff. And so it was just hard. And so I was praying to God. I was like, something has to happen. Something has to shake. And I began to pray this prayer that says, Lord, reveal what holds my mind hostage. Show me what I fear the most. Go ahead, God. Help me see what terrifies me. And it was you, yourself, success. You won't get out of your way. And God gave me a date. He was like, this is the date that you need to leave. And I'm like, wait, you want me to leave my $8,000 a year job? For what? But honestly, I was making that per month with creating these virtual experiences and doing some digital products and stuff. And so I was getting the funds. And then, on the onset, if you were a real business, you were getting great funding to run your business. And so I was like, why am I still dealing with Susie because she mad because we don't have no paper towels today? Nah, boo. No. So I set a date. I turned in my notice. What was so funny was that date was the date that we were to get our bonus for that quarter. I don't know what it was, but that was the date. When I tell you, God must have knew me because they offered me a raise. And I began to get, how you get in your spirit, like, okay, well, they're going to up it, 4,000 or 5,000.
Right.
Maybe I can hang on. God fixed it where, and I'm sharing this first time on the happy hour. My boss released me early. He said, oh, you put in your notice? Oh, I accept it. You don't have to come back.
Oh.
You don't have to come back. So now here I go, freaking out. Okay, if he released me early, what about my money? I got a plan. What am I gonna do? God fixed it where, and he knew his child. He knew his child. But God fixed it where not only did they have to pay me, they had to give me the raise because he let me go, and he had to give me my bonus too. So I tell folks, when you walk in obedience, even if it's forced, God will work it out. Because honestly, I almost had to fight to get that. But God knew I wasn't gonna probably be obedient to him. He knew he was gonna have to say, girl, come on here, let me pull you on up out of here, because you're not listening. I told you this the date you leaving. They done threw money on the table, and here you talking something. I don't know.
Man, oh man, like I just got so excited for you just hearing that story. And that's what I want all of the viewers and listeners to pick up, because when you walk in obedience with where God is trying to lead you, he will always work it out, and you're probably going to get bigger and better than what you think you're losing and sacrificing. Like, come on now, we have to be willing to just take that leap of faith, especially whenever he is leading us that way, because
Right.
even though it may be rough, you may be scared, what comes on the other end of that is so much better. I'm the
Right.
same way. So like whenever I resigned from my last therapy position, going into it, listen, I was already a full-time entrepreneur, so I don't know how I ended up 3-4 interviews in. And whenever they offered me the position, I literally had to tell the lady, I was like, I'm gonna have to think about it, like, because I didn't know why. But next thing I
Right.
know, like, I think I just did it for fun. Just, I don't know. We're not gonna go into all that. But anywho, I ended up all the way through the application process, and they offered me the position, and I felt like God was saying to take it. And so I was like, okay, just 1 year, 1 year,
Right.
1 year. Long story short, I ended up there longer than a year. And I knew going into it, it was going to be a very exhausting position because I was working with at-risk families doing intensive therapy.
Oh
And
yeah.
here's the thing, as I'm not going to say bad, but as as toxic as some of my clients were,
Right.
it was the administration side, the back end of things that gave me the most headache. I
Yep.
realized that I had started practicing less self-care, and y'all know I'm big on self-care. So if I was not practicing as much, you know, it was a big
Right.
deal. I had noticed that I was losing my hair, and
Yep.
God had to push me out of that position because, like I said, it was supposed to be 1 year, and I already told
Right.
you I was there longer than a year. We're not gonna say. You can say I didn't listen. When the year came, I stayed. I had gotten comfortable in the regular paycheck because
Right.
all of you that are entrepreneurs, I'm sure you know, like, you know, sometimes you have a great month and then sometimes you're not so much. It might still be good, but it wasn't what it was
Right.
last month. And I was horrible with my records and bookkeeping. So my was always fluctuating.
Right.
But in taking that position, like it kind of pushed back my business. And I
Yeah.
told them from jump, my business is my first priority. Y'all are the side chick. And so they kept sneaking their way in to where they were pushing my business out and taking up all of my life. And I didn't like that. So my business had suffered.
Yeah.
And so eventually there was a big, big trip that I had told them about from the very, very beginning. Like I was going halfway across the world. I was going to be in Indonesia for a little bit and then in Singapore. And they knew from jump. Why did they tell me like 2 weeks-ish before I was supposed to leave that I couldn't go? When they had been approved, that was part of my
Right.
on.
See, they play too much.
And I knew it was God because listen, God, I could hear him scolding me
Right.
like, I told you to leave, I don't know how long ago, and you still here. So
Right.
since you won't leave on your own, let me give you this because I already know you're going to choose the trip over staying at this
Right.
position. And so, yeah, when they were like, Lindsey, you can't go, and we're about to give you another client case, I was like, here's my 2 weeks. Here's my 2 weeks, okay? So if you are just tuning in, you are watching the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner and our very beautiful guest, Miss LaKisha Mosley. She is a digital and live event producer and strategist, and she will help you put on an amazing, memorable event and have it be profitable, okay? Profitable.
Yes.
Profitable. I promise y'all I haven't been drinking yet. Speaking of drinking, I think that this would be a great time for a fun little segment that I like to
call What's in Your Cup?
Yes! If you are new to the show, this is the part where we find out what's in your cup. So our guest will share what she's sipping on, and she'll give us some cup cam. I will share my drink, and hopefully you grabbed your drink before joining the chat, and you share what you're sipping on in the comments. And if you didn't grab a drink, it's okay. We still love you. Put what you wish you were sipping on. So, Miss LaKisha, what's in your cup?
Girlfriend, I am sipping on some Parmesan peach brandy with a tad bit of Coke. You know?
Oh, okay, just a splash of Coke
Yes.
for extra garnishment.
Yes.
See, look, I got you. I don't know when's the last time I haven't heard about Parmesan in so long.
That's the only brandy I will drink. I'm a vodka girl
Mhm.
normally, but I've been trying to be good lately.
And then you had a nice classic cup, was that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, nice classic. What's it say on there? Did I see writing?
It says Copper and Thief. They're actually, so you know when you work in grocery retail and all the wine and the distributors come in, a lot of times they bring gifts for the managers and stuff. And so I actually got a set from them when they came in because you know they wanted space in my store. So you want space? I like those cups.
Gift me, please. Over here in my SpongeBob cup, I'm feeling nice and fun and silly today. I am drinking Mama Joanna, and I kept pronouncing it Mama Juana, but
Uh-huh.
then I heard the locals call it Mama Juana, and so it is a local liquor from Dominican
Ooh,
Republic. And
I
so
like
I'm going
that
to put the
bottle.
bottle to the screen because let's see, you see those wood chips in there? Yeah, so I
Yeah.
don't know the process of what they do to the wood chips, but essentially I will keep the bottle even when the liquid is gone. And the wood chips are what's going to give it the flavor. And so once it's gone, they told me how much to put of three different things: rum, red wine, and honey. I fill it
Mm.
up about, I think, equal amounts. And then I shake it up and it's ready to go. And it's the wood chips on the inside that do all the other stuff that needs to be done. And so I can refill this bottle up, just going and going and going and going and going. And I was like, okay, give me that one.
Right?
So,
I
yes.
love that.
So I picked the pretty bottle that has a Dominican Republic scene painted on it. And
That
it's
is
very
nice. I like
smooth.
that.
Because he was like, you can make it stronger or lighter, like depending on your preference once you refill
Mhm.
it. But the one that was pre-made in there, I was like, to give me the recipe for exact, because they gave us a sample. Give me the recipe for exactly what's in this bottle, and he told me so that. Mhm.
Ooh, that sounds good. Oh yeah, that sounds
I
good.
don't need a chaser. So over here in the comments, let's see. Sean is drinking Gatorade, getting your
Okay,
electrolytes
Sean.
on in this
Yes,
evening.
yes.
Mhm. Lisa is drinking White Claw grapefruit. Okay,
All
White
right.
Claw.
Okay,
Yes.
Lisa. I'm about to try that, girl.
If you are tuning in, still put your drink in the comments. Meanwhile, let's get back into the discussion because I already know it's going to get juicier and spicier from here. So don't forget, comment, love, share this video out, post your questions for LaKisha below, and let's get back into it, okay? So we were just talking about being pushed by God into those
Right.
different directions and leaving those places where we're comfortable, even if we don't like it, we're
Yes.
still comfortable because we know what is coming. And sometimes God has to give us that extra push. And
Right.
you just mentioned how you were very you were very irritable in your
Yes.
space and you didn't like folks no more in your space. And then I mentioned how my stress level and my self-care dropped, my stress went up.
Right.
And basically he had to push both of us out of the
Yeah.
position we were in because we
Yeah.
weren't being obedient initially when it was time to go. So
Exactly.
what advice would you give to the viewers and listeners that are just scared still? Like, even after the stories we just shared, they're scared to make that leap into the unknown, even though they know they want something different than what they currently have, whether career, relationship, whatever.
Right. I mean, for me, I am a Christian. And so my go to is always going to be God and the Word. And if you are not into that, I would say, connect with somebody who maybe is. When I decided to go out, Lindsey, I got prayer warriors on board, and then I got more prayer warriors on board. Number one, because I knew what the people that prayed for me were going to come under attack. So I knew that was going to happen. So I needed somebody to cover them as they covered me. I would say also journal. Start talking about what it is that you want. Start walking out what you see your next phase will be. This is coming from a woman who, even though I grew up poor, and I gained a little bit of success after my divorce, I lost everything. So that's another juicy little story. I lost everything. I was homeless. Like, I didn't have anywhere to stay. I had family that wouldn't let me stay with them. It was really bad for me. And the church that I was going to, my pastor actually found somewhere for me to stay. And this lady let me stay in her house, Lindsey, rent free. Like, she didn't want a dime from me at all. She helped me get on my feet. I found a job. And I found a job, y'all, working $7.25 an hour with 2 degrees. So sometimes God got to humble you. God got to humble you, and he got to take you back to the basics. And I was able to, build myself up to where I was, working in management in a grocery retail store. And now he has me running my own business. I have several businesses, but I'm making money. I can take care of my family. I would say, don't let fear get in your way. Start to fight fear. Like, ask God, what is it that I'm scared of? God, help me face what I'm scared of. I was the biggest thing that I was scared of. Like, coming from a small town, you sometimes feel guilty for making it out. Sometimes you feel bad because other people didn't make it. But we're all somewhat afforded the same opportunities. It's just what will you do with it? What will you use? I would say just start writing it out. Start saying affirmations to yourself. I have a whole wall of affirmations. Like, literally, when I get up in the morning, I look at that wall and I pick one, during the day when I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This bank account ain't looking like what it needs to. I can point to one of those affirmations, and it helps me. One thing I say quite often is, God, don't let me forget what you said just because I see something different. Please don't let me forget what you told me, because I know what you told me, but it ain't looking like what you said. But I gotta stay steadfast, on that. I can't stop. I can't give up.
Listen, I got to put that on the screen for the people, because you said, God, please don't let me forget what you said just because I see something differently. And if y'all didn't catch that, I need y'all to go back and watch the replay and catch it, please. Because sometimes, more often than not, that is something else that holds us back from the things that we desire in our lives, because we're paying attention to what it looks like right now.
Yes.
And so we're in this uncomfortable position. We're in this situation that we don't like. And that's all we see. We know what we want, but we don't know how to get there. And so even though we feel like God is telling us to do this, we don't do that, because we're like, how are we going to do this whenever right now I'm looking at this? Like, how's that even going to work out? And instead of taking that leap of faith, we stay and we're comfortable in our chaos. And then 10 years later, we're in the same spot. And we done missed out on bigger and better because we weren't listening, and we
not
were
at all
on what we see right now instead of envisioning what we want and trusting that God will provide it, because faith and fear can't live in the same spaces. Like, you
not at all.
One or the other.
Right, not at all. I have it, Lindsey, it's all over my room. It's on my mirror in my bathroom. I have it here on my board. It says, God, don't let what I see make me forget what you told me.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm just not gone. I just can't live there. And sometimes the battle is not the circumstances, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
It's you. It's you, flat out. We can't do that. There's somebody that wants what you have, that needs what you have. You are commissioned for something. God has given you a calling for something, and you being fearful, you stopping somebody else from getting their blessing. They waiting on you. They're waiting on you. How did I know people wanted virtual experiences? How did I know that was something that would be profitable? Not only profitable for a moment, because he told me it wasn't going to be just for this season. Now people see the beauty of virtual events, and now they're going to be forever something that will be needed. But he just used me as a vessel to get out there, because if you would have told me last year that I was going to leave my job and be a full-time entrepreneur, I would have, girl, whatever. No, ma'am, I like my $80,000 a year job, and I'm going to get a raise in a few months, and I'm going to be good. No, ma'am. You couldn't have told me. You could not have told me my life would be what it is. You couldn't have told me that.
Yeah, and we have to envision it first. Like every now and then, like I'll hear somebody say, "Oh, I could never see myself doing that." And my response, they want you to give in to that pity, and don't join any pity parties. No,
don't invite me.
My response to that is always, well, that's exactly why you're not going to get it. Because first you have to see yourself in the thing that you desire, whether it's financial freedom, a healthy relationship, running a thriving business, or even if you don't desire to be an entrepreneur, having that promotion, whatever it is for you, you have to see yourself there, and you have to believe that you are worthy and deserving of those things. And what happens, you change your visions, you change your thoughts, it changes your words, and it subtly changes your behaviors. Now you're operating differently, and you start to attract that into your life.
Exactly. Words are powerful, and words have consequences. And consequences aren't just bad. Consequences are good or bad. Consequences are just results. It's results. And so our words carry weight. Now, there's a little bit of humility that got to go into it, but I'm going to wake up every day and say I'm the baddest virtual event planner on the planet, in the entire world. And I walk in that confidence. You can't tell me no different. You just not going to tell me no different. And I stand on that. Now, does that mean that there may not be somebody out there better and greater? Could be, but that ain't my business. My business is what he told me to do. And I had someone laughing the other day. I said, it's not my business what God got planned for me. It's my business to walk it out. I go to him daily for what I need, and he gives me just enough for that day. When we look too far ahead, that's when fear sometimes sets in, like, oh, you want me to do what? Hey, hold up, me? Now, God, give me my manna for the day and let me be let me be okay. I don't want to know nothing else.
Yes. He will give us just what we need. Like I saw that even so once I left that position, let's see, I left at the beginning of October 2019. It was either end of September, beginning of October 2019, because I was going to be gone for like 3 weeks. And so I left the Friday right before I was supposed to leave. And so then essentially I was building my business back up because it had suffered from as a result of that position. So business income had went down, stress had went up. And so I resigned, and I have my cushion ready to kind of cover me as I'm picking business back up. And then here comes 2020. And ironically, January was doing good, and I had already started picking it back up because now I was back full time devoted to my business. But then COVID hit, and like I had all of the live events like canceled, and then some of them did reschedule to virtual, but then they went from like, not the same pay rate as a live event. And I was like, geez, Louise, but I had to trust what God had for me. And I had to have that faith that despite the chaos and craziness that is going on around me, God is going to work it out because this is where he told me to go. He didn't give me all the pieces at the beginning. Like you said, he gave me what I needed in the moment. And here I am. 2020 was actually my best year out of all my years of entrepreneurship and being a business owner. And it's only been going up from there. And even this year still, he's been giving me those pieces, just All right, now
Exactly.
you need this piece. Once you act on it, I'll give you the next piece. Once you act on that,
Exactly.
the next piece.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what advice would you give to the viewers or listeners who feel like, they don't know which direction they're supposed to go in? Like, they feel like they're trying to listen to God's direction and where He's leading them, but they don't really know if they're hearing Him or not, or what's happening on the inside.
I would say sit in the silence. We sit with yourself. A lot of us don't like ourselves. And it's real. And it's sad to some degree. I know when I hear people say, oh, I'm so tired of being in the house, or I just need to get out. And I'm just like, you don't like yourself? Because I liked the lockdown. It was fine for me, and it really helped me see who I was. It helped me discover me. And I would say, I would just keep asking God, just seeking God for direction. God, I'm not hearing you. Tell him he is listening. God, I'm not hearing you right now. I need to know what I need to do. And you start to write out your thoughts. You begin to sit with yourself to see what is it. When you think you hear what he says, act on that. If it's what it is, he's going to give you the next piece. And he's going to give you the next piece. But when you don't act on anything, it's like, what are we giving him to work with? It's almost like we're not giving him anything. And I just say, just step out. Like, just listen to that still small voice. And when people say, well, it's too much noise and I can't hear him. Well, it's too much noise. You need to turn off the TV. You need to turn off the radio. You need to get off of social media. And you need to just sit with him. I love sitting with him. My morning time with him, it's like the best time in the morning for me. It is before I do anything else. It's set in my calendar as Rise and Shine, and that's my meditation. That's my devotionals. That's my journaling. That's reading my Bible. That's also, I use the Shine app. I use the Balance app, just for, meditations and stuff. But I love spending time with him. And when I miss a day, you best believe that day ain't right. It's jacked up. And he's like, my child, I was waiting for you. Where were you? Why weren't you there? So it's a non-negotiable for me. Just continue to seek him. Trust me, if you tell him you can't hear him, not only will you hear him, he gonna start sending signs. People will start to tell you stuff. I've had to pray that. Like, God, I'm not hearing you. When I left, the first 2 months was like barely making it. And I'm like, wait a minute, God, I don't hear you. But it was the roar, the applause, because I had got out and people were clapping for me. And I was on that pride thing, like, yeah, I did it. No, you're not. I have to hear from him because he already had my next steps planned. I had planned what I was going to do.
Right.
Without consulting him. So I just say, just really tune into him and tell him, God, I'm not hearing you. Please, I need to hear from you.
Oh, listen, tonight's episode has been such an alignment. If you're just tuning in, you're watching the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner. That's me, and our beautiful guest, Miss LaKisha Mosley. She is a live and digital event producer and strategist, and we have been talking about all the things as far as taking that leap of faith, getting out of your comfort zone and listening to where God is directing you so that you can be blessed with bigger and better.
Yes.
And listen, there's so many different confirmations in this because, I just made a post, I think it was last week sometime, where I had said, are you praying to inform God or to involve God? And you have to be mindful. Like, are you telling him what you're going to do? Or are you asking him to come into your plans and help you go in the direction that he wants you to go in? And then I just was having a conversation with one of my girlfriends. She was saying, I'm having trouble hearing from God. And I see all these other people always talking about, well, he told me this and he told me that. And I feel like I don't hear anything. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? And the thing I said to her was, maybe it's not that you haven't heard from him, it's that you haven't acted on what he already told you to do.
Boom.
And so a lot of people are
Boom.
in that space as well. So maybe you have taken the first step, like LaKisha said, and you quieted all the noise, the mental noise, the emotional noise, the physical noise,
Yes.
all of the noise you've already erased it, and you still feel like, why don't I hear anything? So
Right.
that's when you need to go to step 2 and say, okay, what's the last thing he told me to do? Did I do
Mm-hmm.
it? Or no, because if I didn't do it, he's not gonna give you step 3 if you ain't completed step 2, boo boo.
Exactly. It's a girl that's on TikTok and she's so funny. And she did this thing one day where she was praying to God, like, is he the one? And God was like, no, he not the one. She was like, nope, I don't hear you. Nope, I don't hear you. We do that too. When we don't get the answer that we want, because if we be honest with ourselves, when we go to God to pray, we already I already know what I want him to say.
Right.
But most of the time, he don't say that. I've learned to not be upset about it anymore because I used to get real mad. Like, really, God? Like, for real? Right, really? But I think that's a lot of it too, Lindsey. It's not that you haven't heard. You ain't heard the answer that you wanted.
Ooh,
Or you haven't acted on what he already had told you. He already done told you.
what did you
But
live
you want to do your own thing. Yes, you want to do your own thing. It don't work like that, boo. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I love it. I love it. So there are a few more questions that I want to ask you. This hour always goes by so fast. I definitely want to hop back into the poor hood upbringing type of thing, because that's a whole nother mindset shift
Oh,
that
yeah.
you gotta have when you don't come from an affluent background, yet you're trying to create the affluence for yourself, the legacy
Right.
for yourself, break those generational curses, build the foundation where you can be comfortable as some of our counterparts.
Right.
So for you, as you are running successful businesses and you've made 6 and 7 figures and things like that, how did you shift your mindset? Like, what was the key factor in shifting your mindset to be able to accept that and not sabotage what you were chasing after?
I think the first thing I really and truly had to do was I had to be educated on what the hell money was. Because when you grow up in the hood, you live in pillar to post. Your parents are living paycheck to paycheck. My parents didn't talk to me about money. So I didn't know about money. I just knew you got it and you paid bills. And most of the time it didn't cover everything. And so I started adult life. I went off to college, got every credit card they had on the yard. You know what I'm saying? Everything that they offered me, I got all of them. I didn't understand the importance of money. So for one, I had to get educated on what money was and that it was a tool that we're blessed with. It's not the end all. I do most of my greatest work bartering and collaborating. That leads to money. I tell people all the time, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And it's about connections. Connections are keys that get you to cash, if that's where you're trying to go. I mean, they just get you there. One of my my greatest client came from someone mentioning me to her and building a relationship to now. I don't care if she gonna sing the ABC song. Guess who playing in it? Me. But that's just what it was. But it also takes that, I think, number one, education, but it also takes you getting out of the imposter syndrome of saying, well, who am I? I feel like, okay, if my brother, my sister, my cousin, whomever didn't get out, who am I to get out? We are not inclined to help other folks. Let me just say that in that way. We are not inclined.
The balcony.
Listen, if I can get out there and do it, I'm just saying, you ask me how. Ask me how I did it. Ask me what did I do. And I think it was once I understood money, I could get out of my own way. And then began to walk in this thing of, I deserve this. I work for this. There's nothing wrong with me having a nice car. There's nothing wrong with me having a nice place to stay. If I want to go buy a Louis Vuitton, that's my business. I can go buy me a Louis Vuitton. If I want to go and eat a 4-course dinner, treat my kids to something, I can do that. It's okay. I do have to be responsible, in that. But I do have to, I have a right, because the first time I hit a number, like I was at the Louis store, I was like, okay, I got a Louis. I was like, woo, I did that. I did that. But at the end of the day, my kids can't eat no Louis Vuitton bag. I mean, they're grown now, but when we talk legacy, what are you leaving for your children? Not just monetarily, but what are you leaving them? I want to leave this business to them to where if they don't want to work it, they can sell it. It's valuable. That's legacy, not just money. We get caught up in money, and it's crazy.
Absolutely. I love all of the things that you said and about we are not inclined to help other folks get out. That doesn't mean that we not putting a hand back to help lift you up to where you're at. But, sometimes people, like we've been saying all show tonight, comfortable in that chaos and they want more, but they're not putting in the work. And then, you have those folks that only want to suck you of everything that you got, and it's at our expense. And so there's something called the black tax. And for my light-skinned viewers and listeners, my light-skinned friends out there, this part ain't for you, but you can still listen so that you can understand.
We need you to understand.
May work in situations like this. But, I don't remember what the article was, but it has stuck with me ever since. And the research behind it about, there are affluent and wealthy Black people, yes, but definitely not at the percentage of our Caucasian friends and things like that. And oftentimes one of the things that holds us back from that same level of affluence, not only like outside of the systemic racism and oppression and all of that stuff, is the quote unquote infamous black tax. And I remember I had a back and forth with my cousin about this one time. But as Black people, we feel like we have to give everything back to our people. And we usually 99% of the time do it at our own expense. So we never get ahead. Like we might get ahead some, but we're still struggling and we're still paycheck to paycheck and we're still in debt and we're still not building that true wealth because we're constantly trying to feed everybody from our community, our parents, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our friends, and everybody else. And we get stuck. And so I love that you said we are not inclined to help other people get out. Again, not to be confused with us lending a helping hand to help pull you along. I don't want to pull nobody to help you walk yourself over here.
I don't want to pull you because that means you really don't want to go. So
exactly. Yep. So, oh my goodness. So we have to know that we want that wealth. And oh, listen, you don't have to come back on the show when I have the alumni season or something, because I still have so many different notes that I wrote down over here. Like, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. You have to come back, friend. So if you are just tuning in, we are at the top of the hour and we are wrapping it up, but don't go anywhere because we still got a few nuggets for you. Okay. But make sure you go back and watch the replay. Make sure you comment, love, share this video out. And so I have two more questions I have to ask you. The first one is about your happiness. Okay. So I am all about creating your first class life, which is the quality of life that you are creating for yourself. So you're walking fully in your God-given purpose and you're building that living legacy. It's about shedding away the mask of fear, doubt, rejection, all of those things that hold us back from being who we truly are meant to be, and being intentional about creating happiness in every single moment that we can. And so I have to ask every single last one of my happy hour show guests, how do you intentionally create happiness in your life?
For one, happiness is a choice. So I can choose to be happy or I can choose to be sad. Joy is something different. So for me, I try to create happiness every single day. When I'm able to wake up on this side of the dirt, I'm happy.
Okay.
If I can put my leg out the bed and walk to wherever, I'm happy. I just try to find happiness in any little thing, even if it's something bad. Car breakdown. Well, at least I got a car.
Mm-hmm.
At least I have, the ability to pay for, what's wrong with this car. So I try to find just something good, even in bad situations where it could have been worse, or it could have been this. And it takes you a long time to get to that place. Like, that doesn't just happen overnight. It takes you a long time to get to that. And even sometimes I still be like, man, I can't believe it. And I'm like, what's my choice?
Right.
In this situation, what's my choice? And it's always to find gratitude in whatever it may be.
Yes, I love it. I love it. My dad, he was recently here. He just left yesterday, actually, because he was keeping our kids while we were out of the country. And so yesterday, I don't remember what we were talking about, but he said to me, he said, "Are you trying to make me have a good time? Are you trying to like pick me up or something like that?" And before I could even answer, he said, "It doesn't matter what you're trying to do because I'm already feeling great." So, and that just stuck with me. Like, we have the choice of how we're going to be, and no matter what you do or say, like, it doesn't matter because you should already choose to be at that level. Like, if you want to be happy, you need to choose to be happy. So it don't matter if Billy Bob from accounting like effed up yo or something like that, or like called you out your name or whatever it is, because you have the choice of whether you're going to react to that negatively or you're going to not let that person affect your happiness. And so I love that you said that. I love. So I know that you have a gift, and I want you to share some final words, but we're going to get to that in a second. But tell us about this virtual event package that you have for all of the viewers and listeners.
So I want everybody, Lindsey, to be creating virtual experiences. Even if you don't hire your girl, I want you to create something like that. Think about how many people are in the world. Think about what you could do to your brand, to your business, to create a virtual experience that people all over the country can see. Listen, I have not left Houston. Okay? But I've been in Bali. I've been in China. I've been in South Africa. I've been in Canada. I've been in Antarctica. I've been all over the world without even leaving my house. But guess what? People know my name in those countries because I have created virtual events. And so what I have is something that will help you plan your first virtual event. It's a calendar that'll help you kind of get things in line, things you need to know to, do your own virtual experience. I always feel like there's always an alternative way to do something. And I want people to do it the right way. You don't have to hire me at all. But what I do want you to do is create this experience to show people what you got. For someone to hire me in Indonesia, that's on the other side of the country, to say, I want to do a virtual event, and I feel like some of my audience is in the United States, and for them to yield a profit, they doubled, almost tripled what they paid me in sales from a virtual experience that people didn't even know about this person, didn't know what they had to offer. It's like, think about what you have to offer. What are you selling? What do you have? If you want to launch your coaching program, if you want to launch anything, if you just want to talk about something, you can do that. I've facilitated cooking events. I facilitated fashion shows. I mean, the sky's the limit. I just want y'all to get something, do something virtual.
Yes, and for the audio listeners and for my visual watchers, you can just take a screenshot of the screen right now. But for my audio listeners, get your virtual event package at www.bit.ly/VE-plan PKG, as in virtual event plan package. So that's bit.ly/VEPLANPKG. Alrighty. So, y'all, we're at the top of the hour. Oh, and we've had so much fun. Make sure you comment,
Yes.
share this video still. Make sure you go back and watch the replay so you can catch all the nuggets for your life. And Miss LaKisha Mosley, do you have any final words of wisdom for the happy hour show listeners and viewers?
Of course, of course. First, I want to say thank you for having me on. This has been so much fun. I love talking to you. Just alignment.
Yes.
It's great. I love it. But I would tell everybody to please stay out of fear. Don't let fear stop you from doing anything. Anything that you want to do, get out there and do it. Kick fear in the face and say, I serve a God who does not allow me to be fearful of you, and I'm gonna keep it pushing. And guess what? If he don't want me to do it, he'll find a way to stop me. Don't let anything stop you. And I'm always here. I'm Facebook Messenger friendly. I'm Instagram DM friendly, unless you in my inbox with some foolishness. Don't come in there with no foolishness, but I am always available. I just say stay prayerful, stay steadfast, and I love you all.
Yes, LaKisha Mosley, live and digital event producer and strategist. You can check out her website at LaKishaMosley.com, LaKishaMosley.com. Find her on Instagram at LaKisha M. Mosley. So there's two M's in there. All right. Make sure you reach out. Make sure you connect. And listen, y'all, if y'all want to stay updated on all things Happy Hour Show, make sure you join the VIP list at bit.ly/happy updates. Okay. bit.ly/happy updates. We are here every single Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for season 3 of the Happy Hour Show. We have a few bonus Thursdays sprinkled in there as well, but not this Thursday, okay? So tune in next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place, same Happy Hour channel, all right? And make sure you like, love, share this video. And with that said, I love y'all. I know you could be doing anything in the world right now, but you've spent your last hour here with me and our special guest, and I do not take that lightly. So I'm grateful for you. Make sure you go out there, create your happiness, create your first class life, and listen, continue to have more than a happy hour, but have a happy evening, life, day, week, whatever it is. Many blessings up on you. And with that, bye.